has a holiday. It feels like it's been over 1 week. And in actual fact, it has just been only one day of holiday. It was just Friday. But I know some people who have taken a break since January till this moment. Yes. No, not you. Actually, it wasn't even you I was referring to. So, Abi, are you guilty?
No, me, it's just some few days.
Yes, now, I know your own is totally understandable.
Yeah.
But the holidays are over. Ramadan is over. Salah, okay, today is Salah extra.
Yeah. No more chilling.
So we're back to work as usual.
Yeah.
And so Perspectives resumes in full swing today. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad and delighted to announce to you that we have a lineup of guests for the rest of the year.
Yes.
So, how was the holiday? Did you really rest?
Yes. I rested a lot, honestly.
I wish I could say the same thing for myself. I don't know where it is. For the first time, I did something really... I was so tired on Saturday evening, and I pretty much... I stayed up late. For the first time in years, I said to watch a movie way into the night.
Are you serious?
It was something interesting. It's called The Night Agent.
Oh.
You haven't
seen
watched
it?
My goodness. Go and see it. It gave me bang bang. My heart was doing all sorts of beats. I said I must see this through to the end.
Yeah.
17 minutes gone past midday. If you're wondering who are these two people yakking on and on, I'm called Rayo Omtoso and I have Mame.
And I'm called Muna Akar.
And we're the ladies on Perspectives here on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Perspectives is our roundtable platform where us women, yes, we pretty much discuss every and any issues as it pertains to us, from economics to politics to health to, any enlightening gist. You will find us on that table. And so today we're bringing a repeat guest. She's been here a couple of times before. And so this time around, I saw the statistics. The United Nations put up a statistics, which was actually a day before what's they call International Women's Day, 8th of March. And so they did this Women in Power in 2023, and new data shows progress but wide regional gaps. And the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres had said, with the current rate at which women are going in the world, it will take 300 years for women to get to the positions that they desire. And so I said, 300 years, uncle, please now. None of us are alive now, we'll be alive then. So, but let's talk about some of this progress made. And so we've invited the repeat guests, which you will hear from her any moment from now. But we have not enjoyed good music in a long time.
Aside from that, do you know that Blessing has been released? Finally.
Oh dear. Okay, so I saw that trending on Saturday.
Yeah.
And remember we had a conversation about it, that how can they keep her for 3 months, I think until May, right? And to teach her a lesson. And I said justice is not like that. It's not because you don't like someone, then the court of law say because you don't like the person.
And then put how much? It was 10 million. That
was it? Okay, I thought it was 5 billion. No,
10.
It was 10 million bail.
Yes.
Okay, so let us talk about it.
And then, do you know one funny thing?
Yes.
I think this whole jail thing made her learn her lesson. Seems the people she thought had her back didn't have her back after all, because she posted a video and then she wrote, me in prison trying to reach my boyfriend. And he didn't pick.
Okay, why was it training that the husband or the boyfriend unfollowed her?
That means when she was there, he totally abandoned her.
He did not call her.
He didn't, like when she called, he didn't even pick.
My goodness.
That's what the video implied. So I'm just feeling bad for her that. But in a way, I think she should even be happy, because now she knows who has her back and who doesn't.
Well, I remember she was training last week because we talked about the Hashiri and that Blessing CEO is not around to give us her hot takes on the
she
matter.
Since when she came out, she has not really put mouth in any trending story. She has just been posting her video, thanking God that she's out.
Muna, you went to a Nigerian prison. Not you.
I understand.
Do you think you want to have any hot takes on any issues going on around?
No.
You just probably want to whatever number of days I have left on earth, let me just stay put.
Honestly, her videos have been so funny, because now it's that she puts Christian music doing thanking God, and it was so funny.
Oh my goodness. All right, so it's good news. Since Muna is happy, we are all happy. Muna really likes Blessing CEO. She hasn't.
No. Don't say that. I'm indifferent about her. It's not like I'm a fan. She's She's always there.
All right, so I'm happy for her, and I really hope that this is the beginning of a new turning a new leaf for her, and for people who like gossip as well. Please take there's someone I've been looking for that's been on my mind. In fact, every time I say I want to Google to check up on her, it just slips my mind. She used to be on Arise News. Her name is Tudu Abiola. She was one of the anchors there, and I haven't seen her this year. In fact, all through the political season, except maybe she's taking on a new portfolio. I'll look her up after the show today because it has just been heavy on my mind. She's always her voice is always in my head. I don't know. I'll just check her, check her out. So, but yeah, it's great to be back on Perspectives. And yes, so Barrister Juliet is online right now, waiting for us to, give her a call. But I'll just really want us to go on this quick break. When we return, we'll dig into the matter that we've lined up for you.
I never cross road with them put as I just for light. As you can see, and the money posted, you can see. I know they send nobody, or do maybe I did do my thing, I did mind my business, nigga. Looking for what's finally market, Shagwale, I can't ruin my plans,
We teach girls shame. Close your legs, cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it. We're all doing it because we're asking to try and elicit change.
No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
But it is about opening spaces for other women and not to be seen as token, and that because I'm a woman, I'm only speaking about women at the table. No, I'm speaking about side of the table that is empty, and the women have to be there. So
I want us to leave this world better than we found it. And how I choose to affect change is by speaking up, by being the first, and by being the dominant.
Over 4 billion of the world's population are girls and women, also faced with challenges that affect our world and contributing solutions to them. Let's have conversations and get some answers to them through their eyes and voices. Tune in to Perspectives, where we discuss important issues ranging from climate change, politics, health, the economy, and lifestyle on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Weekdays from midday. Perspectives. Conversations that matter.
Alrighty, welcome back and thanks for staying with us here on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. You're listening to Perspectives. I'm called Rayo Omtoso. My friends call me Derry. Yay! And yes, Muna is in the building with us today. Muna. Yes. So we've lined up. Oh my goodness, there's some. Okay, let's just go on. So I did start out by saying today's show sparked of, I had this, what do you call it? Hello? Okay, I thought our guest are joining. Yes, because she's online at the moment. She's just waiting for us to, introduce her. And so I saw the statistics about women in power in 2023, and it shows how there's a wide regional gap, not just in Nigeria, not just in Africa, but all over the world. And I said, why not, invite someone who is really sitting on this table? Okay, she's actually calling me back. I'm trying to reach her now. So my guest today is none other than this phenomenal woman. In fact, the way I love introducing her because her website describes her in this particular manner. It says she's always ready to take up new challenges. She's a young Nigerian who would not let anything get in the way of her dreams. She, with a special assignment in nation building and leadership, Barrister Juliet can be said to have emerged as a shining star, blazing quietly through the horizon. Yeah, it's a lot of big words, but it aptly captures our guest today. She's no stranger to us here at Citizen FM, and soon the rest of the world will know just how phenomenal she is. Barrister Juliet Isi Ikayere, welcome to Perspectives. Good afternoon, Barrister Juliet. Can you hear me? Hello? Oh my goodness, this is network doing its thing. Oh, I'm going to try her one more time. Hello? Good afternoon. Can you hear us? Hello? Okay, so let me do this one more time. She can actually hear us. Hello, Barrister Julia, can you hear me? Hello?
Network.
So this is network at work. So give me a minute. Let me take a short break. I'll dial properly, then I'll come back on the show.
Because she's someone I admired. From the time I joined golf, I used to hear about Tunama.
The grass is greener on the other side. That's what I thought before I took the ride. I burned my bridges so I'd never look back. But if I had known the life I was searching for was looking me right in the eye, oh. If I had known the life I was searching for was already my own.
of the echelon. When it comes to social inclusion and development, you find women at the top of that, stage as well. So I thought, okay, who is the best person to discuss this data with me? And of course, I thought of you. So according to the data, there's been an increase in the number of women in leadership positions in Nigeria, in politics, thanks to people like you who came out to run in the last elections. And of course, the woman who ran on the tickets of the Labour Party. I'm trying to remember Mrs. Ireti Kingibe, but she's not Mrs. Is it engineer? You're looking at me. And so it says that 4% increase since 1999 and 11% in this last elections have more women occupying executive positions in private and public sector. So now, I remember the last time we talked, and we talked about a mentorship and sensitization program. Apart from that, which you are taking on personally, do you know other specific steps that women can take to get more involved in political process in Nigeria and push back this democratic backsliding, which was the theme for the topic you worked on in Ghana, the West African Young Women in Politics Forum? It talks about something democratic backsliding, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, please. So can you share some of the what they call it? There is the policies and the discussions that you had over there with us.
All right. For us, we were just talking about that. We dialogued around making sure that women engage more in policy building. So if there are areas whereby there has been lacuna in the particular locality, community, or that private space, it's good that policies begin to be built around it, and women have to champion this because.
Go on, we can hear you.
Want to have recourse to?
Yes.
In the time being. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
So we can have. Okay, so we can have policies formulated around documents that it's easy for one to actually have recourse to while seeking for office or while even in office. And it even makes women even more prepared for what they are going into, because we are looking for intentionality in our leadership positions, not just having positions by accident or by chance, so that once an opportunity comes in, a woman who is capable and enough to be able to run that position, she will easily be sorted out for. And then also that mentorship still has a role to play in this, because as we grow, we continue to, as we grow and age, like they say, we can never cheat nature. So as time continues to time and nature continues to overpower us in weight and in ability to perform, it's good that we actually continue to mentor others that will carry out most of our own ideas, or actually wear our shoes where we may not be able to feel. Because we've seen experiences of women running for offices over years, and some men not necessarily get it. It's not just peculiar to just women alone. We even have some men who have run over years, decades, and have still not gotten those positions. But now it comes to the point of building. Now in the space of mentorship, there are people who are looking up to you. It could be that your own goal or your own purpose was actually to run. The person's own destiny was to run and actually put more, help other people build the strength and courage in order to actually go into that office. Because I tell people, you might not actually run to win, but you will actually have won in the sense that you've given another woman the courage and capacity to be able to do what you've done. And you people are leading a train, because Rome was not built in a day. So many things that we're achieving today were actually steps that were taken by other women who are even no more today. It's just about us putting all these things into data, profiling them, documenting this, and telling our stories more often, so that we can see how much progress we've been able to make over the years. So these were some of the discussion. And then also achievements of women in time past has to be documented and kept.
Absolutely.
Just the way so we have recourse to other men. We should also have recourse to what women have done. So that even if she may not be able to sing her song, others will be able to sing her song for her. And before you know, other lyrics can also be formed from that song. So it's just about holding our hands in order to champion what we all collectively want. In as much as we want women in participation in politics, we also have want to have women who shatter the glass tables, make more glass ceilings, still shatter it, and we keep going and going and going until we build until the skyscraper where it will not be our limit anyway.
Absolutely. Remember the last time you were here, we talked about the Madame Afegbai, the first female senator, and so you are right on course for them to document, so many of the achievements of great women in our past. We always focus on the mundane stuff. I mean, Funmilayo Ransome Kuti was only known as the first female to ride a car in Nigeria. Nobody talked about the fact that she actually forced the British when it came to tax and the Aba Women's Riot, how that inspired her to go to Abeokuta and do the same thing. So well done on that. So let me just point out, how can women's rights advocacy groups work together to create a more united front, to promote democratic values and defending human rights in Nigeria? How can more women groups come together? Let's not work solely now or individually here and there. How can we all come together, to create a more unified front, to show that women, this time around, we're taking the bull by the horns and we're working together as a team?
I think you have a very solid point there, but the truth is that in as much as it's a solution, a practical solution to achieving what we want, it has been the major challenges over the years. Yes. Either we have 2 to 3 coming together, and then you see others still seem as if they are not carried along. Some of all these distractions have formed the most of all the challenges that women organizations and civil societies have encountered over the years. But how then can they be able to come together? I think probably there be a forum, a united forum that now collapses all civil organizations together there, and then they can actually have entry points that is flexible for even those who are newcomers or new people on board who are trying to do their advocacy thing. They can actually come in even if others have joined in before now. So I think that forum whereby all the civil societies just come together, they have this cluster whereby we have these are the women group working together to achieve this cause. I think it's also going to be a good one. It must not actually be too expensive, because most times people talk about the challenges of funds and all. I just feel if it can be that the goal is, how can we have a compendium of documents that women can actually agitate for, like this affirmative action, which we saw a lot of women organizations, civil society group went to court to actually demand for the implementation of the affirmative rights of women. So something like that is also a laudable one. And yes, to some extent, a lot of women have been doing so much. But I mean, now a compendium, now they have an idea that this is what they want to achieve. They want to actually produce documents. Yes, we've seen women in politics produce a document, which was that GAIN. It's called the GAIN document, whereby every woman politician who wins an office is going to sign to be able to show that she's going to have recourse and show commitment to women's development. Yes, it's actually a good one, but we can actually expand it by making sure that there's a compendium. It can just be an idea that everyone comes together, that women, we don't want to be scattered around our thoughts, scattered here and there, but we want to form this compendium. So as you're doing other works, you continue to profile it that we need more women in that locality, we need more women, but all we want to achieve is particular policies. And if these are even put into consideration and they are even laid down, it even helps, it enables other women who are coming on board not to even go through the stress.
Exactly. You have done the work already.
The legislation around these areas, because this society is going to have lawyers, legislative drafters, people who are also going to be seasoned, that they would have learned as a result of being SAs, LAs to most of those people who are already there. And then they now come out and do this. It's called knowledge sharing amongst women. So I think that's something we can do in order to have all civil society. But the thing is that
how do we come together?
Who is the leader? who is the forerunner, because all these things are things that bring the challenges and makes these ideas just break down before it even starts.
Yes, thank you so much. You know, this is so now. This is number 2 that you're owing us. So I'm owing you. You're owing us that book, the historical book, and now you've talked of a compendium now. So this is a great place to take a break. I want to quickly go on a short commercial break. When I come back, I want to find out if you have ideas or tips that women can use, how they can use social media and other forms of digital communication to raise awareness about this, about democracy, and how to get them involved in leadership positions. So hold that thought. I want to go on this break. I'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
Changing my lifestyle, I see you watching my movements. This body bad every day. I know
93.7 Citizen FM.
Let's talk about it on our favorite radio station.
We're more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
This call to prayer is sponsored by the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على حي على الصلاة حي
teach girls shame. Close your legs, cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it. We're all doing it because we're asking to try and elicit change.
No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
But it is about opening spaces for other women and not to be seen as token, and that because I'm a woman, I'm only speaking about women at the table. No, I'm speaking about side of the table that is empty, and the women have to be there. So
I want us to leave this world better than we found it. And how I choose to affect change is by speaking up, by being the first, and by being the domino.
Over 4 billion of the world's population are girls and women, also faced with challenges that affect our world and contributing solutions to them. Let's have conversations and get some answers to them through their eyes and voices. Tune in to Perspectives, where we discuss important issues ranging from climate change, politics, health, the economy, and lifestyle on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Weekdays from midday. Perspectives. Conversations that matter.
All right, 46 minutes come past midday. Welcome back. You are tuning and listening to Perspectives here on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. And the guest we've had on today is Barrister Juliet Isi Ikairi. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Hello, Barrister Juliet, can you hear me?
Perfect.
Alrighty. So it's great to have you back on the show. So just before we went on the break, yes, I quickly asked about the ways that women, especially young women, I know this is a tech era. In fact, Thursday is International Day of Women and Girls in ICT. I look forward to having a robust conversation on that, So I know that we're in the tech era right now, and we know that social media changed the game in this last election year that we had here in Nigeria and pretty much all over the world. We see how social media is making a great, impact. What ways can women use social media and also other forms of digital communication to raise awareness, about, some of the things we discussed earlier on, especially this, what they call it now, the support, the way to mobilize support for democratic values, to get more girls involved in the leadership, in the process. How can we get them on board?
Okay. Thankfully, we've come to the age and time whereby a lot of women, young people, and professionals are also appreciating tech, because it's not just the issue of Microsoft anymore. It has gone global to even exchanging information and ideas on a wider scope.
Yes.
So for me, I feel it's a great innovation. But the thing is that women can actually explore tech in the area of participation in politics via leveraging on what they already have to also getting more experience.
Yes.
And even those who are already knowledgeable in tech can actually develop more ideas that can actually channel conversations around the issue of politics, because I think until now it has not been known that tech has a way of playing or influencing political participation.
True.
Just from the last concluded elections, we've seen that a lot more young women were even involved in conversations,
yes,
and then investigative journalism.
Absolutely.
Through spreading of this information.
Yes.
On a lot of apps, a lot of designing, creative of websites and all. And then we saw even some parties even went as far as even creating an app that could even generate list of people who are going to participate in as collation or polling unit agents, submission of results.
Yes.
So these are some of the ideas. But now becoming more intentional about it is the issue, because we want to see that it's not just, why making money from tech? You should be able to understand that you can actually build a momentum and build a political impact in the lives of women by virtue of understanding tech. And these are some of the ideas they can later put into practice by going to become more innovative. And women it will now be the responsibility of more women. I'm not saying men can't even innovate for us, but women will now have to bear this burden that through tech they can be able to do more. For instance, we've seen NFTs. Artists today are appreciating NFTs. Their works can be designed. So if we can have a conversation about women in tech, that tech, yes, is good for the economic value, helping to also make the woman even feel more comfortable in a profession that dignifies her creativity and skill. But then again, we are actually understanding that whatever you do in society, we just drive a conversation around this issue, that whatever we do in societies are only being sustainable by policies. We saw what happened in the crypto market in 2020, the ban on crypto, banks and all that. Now, policies that will actually put some of your ideas are also shaped by politics.
Absolutely.
So all of them, they are interwoven. So everybody has to understand this in order to shape whatever innovation that will come on board. I'm not a tech guru, but yes, for the purpose of understanding digital skills, yes, I do. I understand to an extent, and it even helped to shape my communication on my social media platforms, and even increased my own audience. And that's because I was able to appreciate innovations, times, and the dynamism of politics. Because before you meet people on the field, a lot of people go to work market. You can also meet them online, and they can also help to amplify your voices in their various communities. So these are just some of the ideas. With understandings like this, building up on it, we can have this, just what I said, we have this conversation, understanding it, and then from there it just blows up, and women can be able to take it from there. Women in tech, I'm saying all women need to appreciate tech, because whatever we do today is affiliated to tech. So have something, a little knowledge about it, and then if you want to go professional about it to make more money from it, good and fine. But we should understand that through tech, we can even create ideas that can promote our political participation in Nigeria and across the nation.
Thank you so much, Barrister Julia, because, there's a lot of, that swelling in my head that all this while, everybody has been looking at politics, they just lump women in one place. Women are only good for one thing, maybe to come out for the voting process. But, with this new idea to set up a compendium, to set up a mentoring infrastructure, we'll need the melting pot for everybody will be technology. I mean, if women in the economic sector will come together, if women in everybody, technology will be the binder for us, because that is what will build the bridge for the future. They say by 2050, Nigeria will have one of the youngest populations in the world. We know that half of that population are young women, right? And so the only way to do is to capture them young. If we bring them into the system quite early, we can get the results that we desire. So while I was also thinking, there was something you said about leveraging, and I just thought about it, that how come all this while that women have not thought to leverage international partnerships to support our push for democratic reforms? Because a lot of this international, they promise, when they think of politics, they think of safety of women. They don't think of women inclusion or women participation. But and we see how these partnerships have worked in other countries, right? We see how Rwanda, without any, what they call it, I don't know how they did it. I'm really curious. It's one of the countries I want to study. How Rwanda and Tanzania keep getting it right. And because of that, it has opened them up to so many, I don't know how to, I'm trying to find the right words to use it now. But my goal is, how can we here in Nigeria, because our democracy is relatively young, women participation is even pretty much, it's like, we only, according to that data, we only have 11% of women's presence being felt. How can we leverage international partnerships to give us that leverage? We've talked about technology now, but how can we get more people on our side, to give us the push that we'll need?
Before I go into the solutions to that, I feel I would need to appreciate some other organizations that are even doing more, even out after the political, even after the elections, because we see that a lot more organizations are usually active and actually running during the political period, the elections period, to actually see for candidates and see how they can help the candidate. But I feel that much work is done
after,
between elections to another election. So the period intermediary between one election to another election, that's where much work is being done. In fact, that is where the foiling, the knowledge sharing, the the inputs, the communication, the awareness is even built upon. Anything done in the momentum is going to just be either a way, something that can easily be carried, be swept away by some certain form of propaganda and all that. But once we've systematically built ideas in the space before the election, it's going to amount to something. So for me, I would appreciate the organizations doing that right now. In fact, some reached out to me and actually talked about mentoring with some other persons that I may not know, and that's also now tech coming to play. Some people may not know how to use Microsoft Team meeting schedule. We have a lot of Google Meet. We have a lot of virtual meetings, even preparing slides, how to document. These are all part of innovation, digital innovations that will even help to keep people wanting to connect with you, even if they don't see physically with you. So these are some of the things, and for me, I'm excited to take part in it and be a mentor to another young woman, and hopefully it becomes something that is duplicated. So the honest truth is that
with this as a result of international partnerships, were they the ones that brought this to you, or your team reached out to them, or it was they just discovered you and they brought all these good things to your doorstep?
The thing is that most times when people reach out to me in the course of a particular phase, I keep contact, I keep relationships, and that's something that is very important. How do you build on the momentum? So the aftermath can also be beneficial for you and for other people, because for me, I find joy in sharing knowledge and being seen that it amounts to something. So it's just like planting seeds for when it becomes ripened, because I believe that whatever you do is not going to be in vain. It's going to be, for me, it's actually yielding fruits when you see that people are talking about an idea you've actually sown and somebody's using it to do something better. So most time is building on the momentum, keeping relationships, and whatever you do, just whatever you do that is good, keep at it. So they can continue to reach out. Oh, we saw you in this, just like you said, you read about me, and it's just from one person, and it's an information sharing world. Everybody, oh, I saw her. Oh, can you help me with? And that's how it has been over the time. And how to sustain it is the relationship you build. How you show up, because showing up is very important.
Absolutely.
And so showing up is very important. Your communication and dialogue is very also necessary, because when people understand that you are somebody that they can actually trust with an assignment, they would actually come and also refer you. It's just like a job. And so that's how it has just been all the while. Then for international organizations, I feel they're actually reaching out, but it depends on our own domestic organizations, how much
we have set up that they can work with.
Exactly. We already realized that Yaga is doing so much.
Absolutely.
But Yaga is not women-centered. Yaga is
EIE.
Youth. So it's a youth-centered development initiative. So it's not just about women. So if you can have other structured women organizations that have actually attained the peak, because everyone started from somewhere. So when those who are at the peak can actually use this period now to sieve bright minds that have actually played key role in the last elections, and then guide them through, help work with them, and then see how much they can do a lot of communal sensitization. Thank God the era of sharing money it's over.
Long gone.
It's long gone, and I hope it remains that way.
I hope so too.
Sustain it. Yes, we can even sustain it by how much these organizations can partner with other organizations. And ideas like this, we can bring it on the table for international communities to understand that Nigeria is ripe. What we really need right now is to sensitize our women, even our young men, because most of these women...
You have just taken it out of my mouth. My next question is, what role do men play? But because we have to go for the news, and I know you are pressed for time, but honestly, I'm just going to ask you for 5 extra minutes and we'll call it a wrap on the show, because you took it right out of my mouth. It's 1 p.m. now. We're going to take our news updates at 1. After that will be the next question and last question, I promise you. I've eaten too much of your time this afternoon. afternoon.
No,
So hold
it's
that
okay.
thought. Just hold that thought. I'll be right back after this break. Thank you so much.
93.7 FM.
Let's talk about it on our favorite radio station.
We're more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
This is 93.7 Citizen FM, Abuja.
The time is 1 o'clock.
News on the hour.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Here's the news on the hour. Between October 2022 and April 2nd, 2019, Nigeria has recorded a total of 235 cerebrospinal meningitis infections and 118 deaths across the 22 states of the Federation. Cerebrospinal meningitis is a severe inflammation of the membranes that covers the brain and spinal cord. The cases were recorded across 79 local government areas in the affected 22 states. This is according to a new report released Saturday by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC. Meanwhile, the disease center reported 23 deaths, 212 suspected cases in 13 weeks of this year. It ran from March 27th till April 2nd when compared to the 196 suspected cases reported in the previous week. Meanwhile, Kenyan police has resumed a grisly search in a forest in the country's east where the bodies of 51 suspected cult members have been exhumed from shallow graves. The police say the search inland from Malindi is continuing not just for bodies but for possible survivors of a movement whose pastor reportedly told followers to starve themselves in order to meet Jesus. Full-scale investigation has been launched into the Good News International Church and its leader since the police stormed the forest at Shakahola and discovered the first bodies last week. Inspector General of Police Japhet Kome is expected to visit the site on Monday, where teams clad in overalls have been scoring for more burials.